What's up, guys? It's ya boy, the Red Scizor. And today, I was, hopping around the interwebs, and I stumbled upon this tier list. It's just some random tier list by a random person on the internet, and I'm gonna critique it with my expert Pokemon Platinum knowledge. So yeah, what this is someone has ranked all the Pokemon based on their in-game viability. So this is for single player. So it's all the Pokemon that you can catch in Platinum. And yeah, let's just make fun of random Timmy on the internet, am I right? So first off, I'm like, what's going on? So there's a legendaries tier which is above S. So I'm assuming that they're supposed to be broken, right? But we have Rotom in here. First off, Rotom's not a legendary. I mean, I get why people think it is, in Gen 4 especially, but it's not. Its stats aren't legendary without the key to get into the basement or whatever. You can't even change its form, and if you don't have access to that, it's not even like that good. And even with that, I mean, it's not legendary tier at all. It's decent. Like, Rotom's not bad. For in-game especially. Even base form Rotom, I mean, in-game is fine. But legendary tier, it doesn't make any sense. Then we got the Lake Trio, and I just, like, they should not be in the same tier as Giratina, especially, like, Uxie and Mesprit. They're pretty, like, mediocre as far as legendaries go. Azelf, for in-game especially, I think is really insane, because it just has so much offensive power. And I guess even Uxie and Mesprit, if we're just talking by in-game standards, are really good. But are they as good as Giratina? No. This tier just doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Let's go into S tier. So I think instead of just looking at every Pokemon, I'm just going to point out the ones that just stand out as being weird. So we got Crobat, Electivire, Alakazam, the starters, Togekiss, Gliscor, Leafeon, Glaceon, Staraptor, Scizor, Porygon Z, Rhyperior, Yanmega, Magmortar, and Frostlass. So, I mean, S tier, these must be pretty freaking good, right? And that's why I find it weird that the two evolutions are in here. My guess, I mean, okay, the person who made this is most likely a casual, right? But, I'm gonna make fun of them anyway. The casuals tend to, like, really value the evolutions and think they're the greatest thing ever. But what's especially weird is that they placed Leafeon and Glaceon up here. Meanwhile, we have, like, Vaporeon down in A tier, which is, like, a really insane Pokemon in-game, especially compared to these two. I mean, Leafeon, it's stuck with Razor Leaf, like, the entire game. It doesn't get Leaf Blade till level 71, I think? Why is it in S? And Glaceon, too, I mean, it's basically just got ice moves, and then, like, water pulse, and that's it. These Pokemon have really limited move pools, and their stats aren't anything that would, like, put them up here. It's pretty strange. Some of these make sense, like, I think Alakazam in-game is just ridiculous. And the starters are all really good in this game. So, I could see this. Scizor's great. Rhyperior's great. Magmortar in-game is great. Electivire you don't get till the end of the game. And I haven't used it before in Platinum. It's one of the few Pokemon I haven't gotten around to yet. But you don't get it till, like, the very, very end of the game. I imagine it'd still be useful, though. Crobat, it's really fast, and that can be valuable. But I don't know if its move pool and its kind of lack of offensive power warrants putting it all the way up here in S. Gliscor is actually ridiculous. I mean, you can get the Earthquake TM the second you get a Gligar, and just have... It's just ridiculous at that point. So I agree with this. I mean, Staraptor in-game is actually really good. Just the fact that it has Intimidate and has their close combat for coverage, I could see an argument for it being up here. Frostlass is kind of weird being this high. Maybe down to, like, A. It's good, but I don't know about this. Then we have the A tier, which, again, I don't know why these evolutions, like Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Espeon especially, are like lower than these two. And then you got Flareon. Why is Flareon here? Look, I'm a firm believer that in-game, Flareon isn't as bad as people make it out to be, but it shouldn't be in the same tier as like Jolteon and Vaporeon, who are just like staples of in-game teams that can solo battles by themselves. Same with like Gengar. Gengar's another Pokemon that I feel like it's just as good as Alakazam. So why is it separated? Snorlax, also, I don't know why isn't an S, because in-game, what can kill Snorlax? That thing's ridiculous. A lot of the Pokemon in this A tier, I feel like are just as good as a lot of the Pokemon in S tier. You have like Magnezone in here, Lucario, Machamp, Gyarados, Heracross, even like Weavile, Mamoswine. Those Pokemon are all really good. But then they have them in the same tier as like Rapidash and Drifblim. Rapidash is very mediocre, and in Platinum you even have like other fire options like Magmortar up here. And even Houndoom, which I don't see right now. Maybe I'm just missing it. Oh, it's down here. Why is Houndoom lower than Rapidash? I don't see that at all. You're stuck with a Ponyta to level 40, and its move pool is so limiting. Houndoom has the problem where you can't get Dark Pulse till like towards the end of the game, but Houndoom's attack stat isn't even that bad, so like, just being stuck with the physical Dark moves isn't actually terrible. This is a weird spot for Rapidash. Absol is definitely better in Gen 4, but I still don't think it quite lives up to like, you know, like Magnezone and Gyarados. Like, Absol's not on that level. Dusclops is also kind of strange. It's good, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's not even the Eviolite in this game, so it's not terrible, but is it really as good as some of these other Pokemon? Lickilicky and Luxray, I also just noticed that they're both here. Luxray, you know, everyone uses it in this game, but its move pool is very limited. Its coverage is basically limited to Crunch and like the elemental thing. And overall, it's pretty overrated. I'd say that like Jolteon is just better as the spam Thunderbolt Pokemon, because that's kind of what I always find that Luxray ends up doing in the late game, is it just presses Thunderbolt, which is not nearly as complementary to its stats as like Jolteon. And Magnezone is he's just great. So I don't really get that one. Rhydon is also all the way up here. They seem to really like Rhyperior and Rhydon, and they're great Pokemon, but I don't know if Rhydon should be quite this high. Porygon 2 is great. Honestly, I could see an argument for it being this high. Its stats are just solid all around, and it's a normal type. In-game, those are great traits. Okay, we have Tropius. See, I'm wondering if the reason Tropius is this high is just because of how many HMs it learns. So I'm gonna give him a pass on this one. I'm gonna assume this is not like for battle purposes, but it's this high just because of the amount of HMs it gives to your team on one Pokemon. Well, let's move to B. So yeah, I've already pointed out that it's weird that Houndoom is down here, but we also have Gallade down here? Like, what? In-game, this thing is insane. It has really good coverage. Why is it so low? I mean, B isn't like super low, but there's not a lot of tiers left, right? It should not be B. It should be like A at least. Some of these other Pokemon, I'm already noticing, we have like Dustox in this tier, but meanwhile, they put like Raichu, Tentacruel down here in C below Dustox? Wait! How are Dustox and like Lopunny better than Tentacruel? This is a thing that I see with casuals a lot too, is they don't think that Tentacool and Tentacruel are good because of how common they are. But Tentacruel is ridiculously good, especially in-game. That thing just hits like a truck, and it has some cool coverage options, like Giga Drain. Honestly, Tentacruel is a Pokemon I would put minimum A, maybe even S. I think it's that good. But no, I guess it's worse than Dustox. And then We have Ambipom down here. Ambipom's not amazing, but is it as bad as Wormadam and, like, Lumineon? No. Also, Azumarill, what the heck? Yeah, they probably don't know how ridiculous huge power is an ability. And this is Gen 4, so Azumarill can actually use that attack stat. I will say, I've used Azumarill in Diamond, and the problem it ends up having is it can't get any of its good water moves for a while, like physical water moves. But once it does, it's pretty solid. It shouldn't be this low. They also put my boy Rampardos in C. Yeah, it's really gimmicky, it's really slow, but, like, in-game, that tends not to matter as much. It still hits, like 2 trucks, not just 1 truck, 2 trucks. It's that was so stupid. I'm so sorry. No, but Rampardos is not this bad. Drapion, this is a Pokemon that I can see kind of being lower, just because of how long you're stuck with Skorupi, which does absolutely nothing until it evolves. When it evolves, it's amazing, because it only has 1 weakness, and you can just send it out in, like, almost any battle, and it'll be great. But yeah, being stuck with Skorupi is really bad. It has, like, Pin Missile, and that's it. Now here's where I'm really interested. We have the whack tier. Yeah. What? Why is Beautifly whack? But Dustox is B tier. What? We also have, like, Scyther is down here? Why is Scyther in the whack tier? It's not that bad. You can teach it X-Scissor? It's got decent stats? Why is it whack? I can see Bastiodon and Probopass being whack. They're just like pure walls, and in single player, pure walls are kind of garbage. Haunter, Haunter is honestly not terrible. Haunter's definitely better than, like, Lumineon and Cherrim. it has, like, surprisingly decent offensive stats. And then we have No Wonder You're Garbage. First off, wrong You're. What the heck, man? And then we have Seeking. Okay, I hard agree. I hated using this thing in this game. And we have Unknown, obviously. But then these last two, even Chatot. Chatot's not great, but it's not garbage. It can do things. These last two, I'm just baffled by. Because, first off, Mr. Mime, it's a mediocre psychic type, but it's still a psychic type. It gets decent coverage? Why is it lower than Porygon? That's weird. And then we have Kricketune, which is actually really good in my opinion. When you use Kricketune in this game, it learns really good moves really early. It learns X-Scissor and Swords Dance at a really reasonable rate, and it can just sweep the entire mid-game. In late game, it's not even that terrible. Its attack stat is at least decent, and Stab X-Scissor, not bad. You back that up with a Swords Dance, it's honestly really solid. I would put it up to, like, B at minimum. I think it's really underrated. And then I love this, how to cheat the game. And we have Gastrodon, Garchomp, Gardevoir, Bibarel, Spiritomb, Altaria, and Milotic. This is such a weird mix of Pokemon. So, first off, why is the how to cheat the game tier all the way down at the bottom instead of being up here at the top? But whatever. These Pokemon choices are so odd. So let's talk about the ones that make sense. Garchomp, yeah, it's ridiculous. The fact that Gible evolves into Gabite at level 24 and just already has such a great boost to its stats that early on, and then it has Earthquake already because of how early you can get the TM in Platinum. Yeah, Garchomp is cheating the game. And Milotic even I can kind of see because of how good just bulky waters are in single player. I don't know if it's cheat the game tier, but it's pretty good. Bibarel, I'm assuming, is here because, again, HM potential. So I guess this kind of confirms what I was thinking with why they put Tropius so high. So you know what? Alright, whatever. But then these other ones, like Gardevoir is like a slightly above average psychic type. but it's definitely really overrated. It doesn't have that great a coverage. Like, his coverage is decent. It's a decent Pokemon, but for single player, I think Alakazam is better, and I think that Gallade is a bit more versatile. So, it's not cheating game tier, that's for sure. Gastrodon is interesting. Like, it's great. Its typing is amazing. It's definitely, like, an A-tier minimum Pokemon. But cheating the game? Doesn't make any sense. Spiritomb, my guess is they looked at it and they're like, oh, it has no weaknesses. It must be broken. But the fact of the matter is, Spiritomb has very mediocre stats. It's alright, you know, it has Will-O-Wisp, it can you know, burn things and make them weaker. And it has cool coverage moves. But I don't see how that cheats the game. And then Altaria is super weird too. It's like this defensively oriented dragon. Altaria's always been super awkward until it got a Mega. It's very just okay. You know, as far as flying types go, we have Togekiss and Staraptor in this game, which are just, like, phenomenal for single player. Why is Altaria down here? I mean, up here, I guess, how to cheat the game. Yeah, why is Altaria so good? I'd like to know. But, yeah, thanks, guys, for watching. This was me making fun of someone who's probably 10 years old and making fun of their tier list on the internet because I was bored. This is the kind of content you get from my amazing channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you watch this far, comment your favorite Pokemon to use in Platinum. Bye, I love you.